Jnanakosha, Puranas.
सर्गच्च प्रतिसर्गच्च वंशो मन्वन्तराणि च वंशानुचरितं चैव पुराणं पञ्चलक्षणम्.
Agni Purana, creation. Agni next told Vasishtha the history of creation. Vishnu is the Lord of creation, preservation and destruction. Before creation, it was only the Brahman that was everywhere. There was no day, night or sky. First Vishnu created the waters, and in the waters he sowed the seeds of Brahmanda, the great egg. From this seed there developed a golden egg which began to float on the waters. From the egg Brahma created himself. Since he created himself, Swayam Sambhuta. Brahma is also known as Swayambhu. Having created himself, Brahma stayed inside the egg for an entire year, and at the end of the year, he split the egg into two. One part of the egg formed the heaven, the other the earth, and in between the two parts of the egg, Brahma created the sky. Brahma next established the earth on the waters and made the 10 directions. He created time, lightning, thunder, clouds, rainbows, words, and anger. To ensure that yajnas could be performed, texts of the Rig Veda, the Yajurveda, and the Samaveda emerged from his body. Holy people used the Vedas to perform ceremonies meant for the gods. From the powers of his mind, Brahma created 7 sons. Their names were Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulatsya, Pulaha, Kratu, and Vasistha. Prithu is recognized as the first king. Prithu was descended from Dhruva, and Prithu's father Vena was also a king, but Vena was an evil king. He was simply not interested in protecting his subjects. The sages therefore killed Vena with a straw, and after Vena had died, they began to knead the dead body's right hand, and it was thus the Prithu emerged. He wore armor and carried bow and arrows when he was born. He ruled well as per the dictates of the Dharma. He looked upon all his subjects as his own sons. From Prithu, the earth came to be known as Prithvi. How to pray, how to build temples and idols. The Agni Purana text has several chapters on how to pray and on how to build temples and idols. The techniques of praying to Vishnu, Shiva, Surya, and the other gods and goddesses are described, including the special mantras, incantations that must be used so as to please specific gods, and there are prescribed forms for such bathing as well. A person who builds temple is blessed. Even if one merely thinks of building temples, the sins of 100 lives are forgiven. A builder of a single temple goes to heaven, Swarga. A builder of 5 to Shivaloka. A builder of 8 Vishnaloka, and a builder of 16 temples is freed from the shackles of being born again and again. What is the point of earning money if one does not build temples? Money is also meant to be donated as alms to Brahmanas, but the punya or merit earned from building a temple is greater than the punya earned from donating alms. The merit earned by builder of temples is greatest for a golden temple, lesser for a stone temple, still lesser for a wooden temple, and least from earthen temple. More punya is acquired from building an idol than from building a temple. Idols of gods and goddesses should always be set up so that they face the city. They should not face away from the city. The easy for Brahma's Vishnu idol can be set up anywhere at all. Different idols of Vishnu must have different forms. Consider, for example, idols are images of the 10 incarnations of Vishnu. The Matsya avatara must naturally look like a fish, and the Kurma avatara must look like a turtle. But the Varaha avatara will four arms like a man and will hold a gada, a padma, a shankha, and a chakra. In these four arms, the Narasimha avatara should have two arms holding a chakra and a gada and should wear a garland. The Vamana dwarf avatara should hold an umbrella and a stick in his two hands. Parshurama will have four hands with a bow, arrow, a sword and an axe in these hands. Rama's image can have either two arms or four. If there are four arms, the four hands will hold a bow, arrow, a conch shell and a chakra. Balrama's image may also have either four arms or two. If there are two arms, the four arms, the hands will hold a plough, a conch shell, a club and a chakra. Buddha's image should have a calm appearance. It should be seated on a lotus. The ear should be elongated. Kalki's image is that of a Brahmana, seated on a horse and holding a bow and arrows, a conch shell, a sword and a chakra. Krishna's image may be either two-armed or four-armed. Three of the four arms will hold a gada, a chakra and a shankha. The fourth palm will be opened out in the act of granting a boon. On either side of Krishna's image, there will be images of Brahma and Shiva. Brahma has four faces and four arms, and the image should have a pronounced right, a swan. On either side of Brahma's image, there will be images of Saraswati and Savitri. Vishnu's image has 8 arms. 7 of the arms hold a sword, a mace, arrow, a bow, a shield, a chakra and a conch shell. The 8th palm is spread out as if Vishnu is granting a boon. Vishnu should be shown riding on Garuda. Garuda will also have 8 arms. To the right of Vishnu's image, there should be images of Lakshmi and Saraswati. Lakshmi holding a lotus and Saraswati holding a veena, a musical instrument. There has also got to be an image of Vishnu exhibiting his universal form. The Vishwarupa image has 4 heads and 20 arms. Chandi's image has 20 arms. The 10 arms on the right hold a spear, a sword, a shakti, a small spear, a chakra, a pasha, a shield, a drum and any 2 other weapons. The 10 arms on the left hold snakes, a rod, an axe, an ankusha used of driving elephants, a bow, a bell, a flag, a mace, a mirror and a club. In front of the Chandi's image, there will be the image of a buffalo with its head cut off. The image of an Ashura will be shown emerging from the body of the buffalo. The demon's hair, eyes and garland will be red in color. It will be shown to be vomiting blood and it will hold weapons in its hand. The demon's neck will be on the lion and her left leg will be on the demon's back. Images of Chandi may sometimes also have 10, 16 or 18 arms. Shiva's image, Linga, may be made out of earth, wood, iron, jewels, gold, silver, copper, bronze or mercury. Places of pilgrimage. A visit to a place of pilgrimage, Tirtha, brings the same punya that is obtained from performing a yajna. It is because people had not gone on pilgrimages or donated gold and cows in their earlier lives that they were born poor in their next lives. The best place of pilgrimage is Pushkara. Brahma, other gods and sages who wish to go to heaven live there. The best time to go to Pushkara is in the month of Kartika. In Pushkara itself, there are two other places of pilgrimage known as Jambu Marg and Tandulik Ashram. It is difficult to go to Pushkara, but there are several other tirthas as well. One such is Kurukshetra, where Vishnu and the other gods keep on coming. The river Saraswati flows near Kurukshetra. If one bathes in the Saraswati, one attains Brahmaloka. Any region through which the river Ganga flows also becomes a tirtha. Even if one sees the Ganga, the punya of her performing yajnas is attained. A person who bears earth from the bed of the Ganga on his head is freed of all sins. Prayaga is another famous place of pilgrimage. Brahma, Vishnu, Indra, and the other gods, Gandharvas, Apsaras, and the sages are always there in Prayaga. This is because the two holy rivers, Ganga and Yamuna, come together in Prayaga. There are many tirthas inside Prayaga itself. The sages have said that in the month of Magha, if one bathes for 3 days in Prayaga, that is better than donating crores and crores of cows. If one donates alms in Prayaga, one goes to Swarga and is born as a king in one's next life. If one dies in Prayaga, one goes straight to Vishnu Loka. Shiva himself had told Parvati that Varanasi was a very holy tirtha, and then Shiva never left the city. Varanasi is so named because it is located at the junction of two rivers, Varna and Asi. Varanasi is also known as Kashi. The river Narmada is also sacred. There may be several holy tirthas, but Gaya is the holiest of them all. A demon named Gayasura once started to perform, and such were the powers of his tapasya that the gods began to suffer. They went to Vishnu and asked him to save them. Vishnu agreed and appeared before Gayasura. "Accept a boon," said Vishnu. "Grant me the boon that I may become the most sacred of all the tirthas," replied the Daitya. The boon was granted and Gayasura disappeared. The gods returned to Swarga, but felt that the earth seemed to be deserted now that Gayasura had disappeared. Vishnu then instructed Brahma and the other gods to perform a sacrifice. He also asked them to go to Gayasura and ask for his body so that the sacrifice must be performed on it. Gayasura readily agreed, and as soon as he agreed, his head fell off from the body. Brahma then proceeded to perform the sacrifice on Gayasura's headless body. But as soon as the sacrifice started, the body began to shake. This meant that the sacrifice could not be properly performed and a solution had to be found. The solution was that gods should all enter a stone which would be placed on Gayasura's body so that the body would not shake. The sacrifice could then be performed. Vishnu himself also entered the stone. It is because the gods and Vishnu are always there in Gaya that Gaya is sacred. In fact, there is a story behind this stone as well. The sage Marichi was Brahma's son and had married Dharmavrata. One day Marichi went to the forest to collect wood and flowers and returned extremely tired. He called Dharmavrata and said, "I am very tired. Today you must wash my feet for me." Dharmavrata began to wash Marichi's feet when Brahma suddenly arrived. Dharmavrata did not know what to do. Should she finish washing her husband's feet, or should she first attend to Brahma? Since Brahma was Marichi's father, she decided to attend to Brahma first. At this, Marichi became very angry and cursed Dharmavrata that she would turn into a stone. Dharmavrata was greatly distressed at being cursed for what she thought had not been a fault at all, so she performed tapasya for many years. When Vishnu and the other gods were pleased at Dharmavrata's meditation, they appeared and offered to grant her a boon. Dharmavrata wished that the curse imposed on her by Marichi might be waived. The gods explained that this was impossible since Marichi was a powerful sage. What they would, however, do was to make Dharmavrata a very holy stone, desired even by the gods. The gods promised to be always inside this stone. It was this stone that was placed on Gayasura's body. Once the sacrifice was over, Gayasura himself desired a boon from the gods, and the gods granted him that Gaya would become the most sacred of all tirthas. It was in Gaya that the Pandavas had prayed to Vishnu. Geography. The world is divided into 7 regions, Dvipas. Their names are Jambu, Palaka, Shamali, Kusha, Krauncha, Shaka, and Pushkara. The 7 Dvipas are surrounded by 7 oceans, and the names of these oceans are Lavana, Ishku, Sura, Sarpit, Dadhi, Dukta, and Jala. Right in the center of Jambudvipa is Mount Meru. Mountains named Himavan, Hemakuta, and Nishata are to the south of Meru, and mountains named Nila, Sweta, and Shringi are to the north of Meru. Jambudvipa is known by that name as there are a large number of jambu trees in this area. On the top mountain, Meru is Brahma's famous city. Under the earth is the underworld. This too consists of 7 regions, and their names are Atala, Vittala, Suttala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. The Daityas and the Dhanavas live in this world. Vishnu is also there in the underworld in his form of the great snake Shesha. The snake Shesha holds up the earth on its foot. That part of the sky which is lit up by sun rays is known as Nabha. Above the earth is the sun, above the sun the moon, above the moon the stars, above the stars Mercury, above Mercury Venus, above Venus Jupiter, and above Jupiter the constellation of the Great Bear, Saptarishi Mandala. Beyond this constellation is the world of Dhruva. Astrology. The Agni Purana next gives a lot of information on astrology. It states when marriages should take place and when they should not. For example, marriages are never to be held in the months of Chaitra and Pausha, or under the signs of Libra and Gemini. If one is going on a trip, then Friday is the best day to start on. Medicine should not be taken if one of the nakshatra stars Pushya, Hasta, Jesta, Shravana or Ashwini is not in the sky. If one wishes to have a bath after recovering from an illness, the Saturday is the best day for such a bath. The first time a child's head is shaved should never be on Tuesday or a Saturday. Ears should be pierced on Wednesday or Thursday. New clothes should not be first be worn on Wednesday. Clothes not first be worn on Wednesday, Thursday or Friday. A new house should not be entered into the months of Chaitra, Jeshta, Bhadra, Ashwina, Pausha or Magha. It is best to reap grain on a Wednesday. Manvantras. Each Manvantara era is ruled over by a Manu. The first Manu was Swayambhu. Shatakrata held the title of Indra during this Manvantara. The second Manu was Swarochchisha. Vipashchita held the title of Indra during this Manvantara. This Manu was Uttam and Shashwati was Indra then. The fourth Manu was Tapasa and Shikhi held the title of Indra then. The fifth Manu was Raivata and Vitata was Indra then. The title of Indra was held by Manojava during the sixth Manvantara, the Manu being Chakshusha. Next came Shraddhadeva, the seventh Manu, Purandara being the Indra. The eighth Manu's name is Ravani and the eighth Indra is Bali. The eighth Manvantara has not yet come. The ninth Manvantara will be Daksha Shravani and the ninth Indra will be Adbhuta. During the 10th Manvantara, the Manu will be Brahma Sravani and the title of Indra will be held by Shanti. During the rule of the 11th Manu Dharma Sravani, the Indra will be Gana. The 12th Manu will be Rudra Sravani and the 12th Indra will be Raithama. Rauchya will be the 13th Manu and Divaspati will be the 13th Indra. The 14th Manu will be Bhautyam and the title of Indra will then be held by Shuchi. During each of Brahma's days there are 14 such Manvantaras. After that comes Brahma's night when all these living beings are destroyed.